Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di and today I am sharing with you my TBR game rotating decks where I have Uno cards help me pick my prompts to create part of my monthly TBR. So as you can see, I'm in a different location. I am still on vacation at the moment. I'm not going to say where though because I believe this video should be coming out before my vacation vlog. So if you're interested in knowing where I am, definitely check out my vacation vlogs, which will be coming out shortly. But today we're doing my TBR for May. I obviously do not have all of my things, but I did do the card pulls before I left where I live. And so I have my cards here, but before we get into the gameplay, let me tell you how I did for my prompts in April. So I did leave those cards back home, so I don't have them here with me, but I believe the prompts were Vampire Academy. So I was to read the third book in the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead. I did read that. I believe another one of my prompts was Bought in 2014, where I had to find a book that was on my Bought in 2014 shelf on Goodreads. And for that one, I believe I was supposed to read through The Grinder, which was the second book in the Coffee House Mystery series by Cleo Coyle. I did read that. And then for my last prompt, I was supposed to start a new series. And for that one, I said I was going to read Mashal, Magic and Muscles by Hajime Komoto. This one is published by Viz, rated teen, I believe. I did read that because it was also the Monochrome Manga Club series reads for the month of April. So I read everything I was supposed to, which is great. I am at this moment still working on my Aurelia Magical Readathon prompts for the classes that I need to take for my profession, which is Master of Elements. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to finish that by the time the month is over because today is April 27th. And so there's only a few more days. I am still traveling within those days. And so, yeah, I may need to ask for an extension. But I'm doing pretty good on those prompts. And so I don't think I'm going to need too much of an extension. But yeah, so that's pretty much last month's or April's prompts and things. So in May, I typically try to focus my reading on manga. I also like to try to pick at least a couple middle grade books to recognize middle grade May. And then there's also the Asian Readathon. So I don't know how much manga I'm actually going to be able to read this May because there are a few things that I really do want to get to. But we'll see how they work with my prompts. And then I'm pretty much just going to fly by the seat of my pants for the rest of the month and just try to stick to either manga reading, middle grade May, or Asian Readathon type things to read. I don't think I'm going to be sticking to the prompts for the Asian Readathon, but I am going to try to read a lot of Asian written things. So yeah, I guess manga would fall into that because manga is translated from Japanese. It's originally Japanese. And manhwa, of course. I do have a couple of Korean manhwa that I'd like to get to as well. So we'll just see how it goes. Anyway, now I will flip you over to the gameplay for the month of May, and then I will be back with you in a bit to share with you what I have chosen for those prompts. Okay, so here's the setup for May's round of rotating decks. We are still using the Lion King deck. This will be our third round using the Lion King deck. So if we don't switch it out during this game, we will definitely be switching it out for the next game. So if you would like to have your choice known as to which deck we will be using next, definitely go and complete the poll I have listed down in the description box below. And when it is time to change the deck, I will be going with the deck that has the most votes. So, now that that is all said, as per usual, I have already shuffled the deck. So I'm going to have my daughter cut the deck so that you know that I don't know what is on the top of this deck. Okay. 3 pulls as per usual. Let's get this started. First pull is, that is a green 6 with Pumbaa. And the prompt is holiday. So that just means that I need to read a book that has a holiday theme to it. So it would be Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving or Halloween, anything like that. So that'll be fun. My next prompt is I read 7 with Rafiki. And the prompt is Kindle First Reads. So I just need something that I got from a Kindle First Reads, which is a free download that Kindle or Prime members get, I believe. All right, that'll be interesting. And then my last pull, hopefully, is that is an orange 9, but as there is no orange, we will be using yellow. And the prompt is international. So that just means that I need to read something that is outside of the United States. So that shouldn't be too difficult. I'm pretty happy with these selections. I don't think we've had any of these prompts in the past. I might have had international once or twice before, but the other two I definitely haven't had. So that's great, seeing some brand new prompts come up through the selections. So let me go ahead and pull some books for these prompts, and I will be back later to share with you what I have chosen. Okay, so I've got my prompts here, and I have what I'm supposed to be reading on this little notepad here. So I'm just going to put that somewhere where I can see it. So if you see me looking down, I am referencing the things that I have chosen for these prompts. So let's get started. So in no particular order, I picked international, and this just means that I need to read something that is not focused in the United States, maybe a translated work, something like that. And so for this one, I decided to pick the Monochrome Manga Club series read, one of the selections that we have for May, which is World After the Fall, Volume 1. This is a manhwa that's published by Issei Press. I believe it's rated teen, but if I'm mistaken, I will make a correction down here. This is by Sing Song and S. Seinen, and it is set in a world where these towers have started to pop up, and within these towers there are a bunch of monsters, and so people as a profession go in and clear out these towers so that the monsters don't come out and wreak havoc onto society. It's kind of similar to Solo Leveling and Tomb Raider King. If you're familiar with those titles at all, you probably heard me talk about Solo Leveling several times on my channel because I am really enjoying that series. But we have also read Tomb Raider King for the Monochrome Manga Club. So if you're interested in knowing my thoughts on either of those series, I will leave my first impressions videos down in the description box below so that you can know what I thought. But I did, in short, really enjoy both of those, and we'll be continuing with both of those series. So I'm really interested to see how this particular series differs, besides the fact that we're dealing with towers instead of dungeons. So that is what I am choosing for international. So another prompt I got was holiday. And so for this one, it just means that I need to read some kind of book with a holiday in it. And so for this one, I am thinking that I want to read Murderously Sweet. This is the second book in the Pumpkin Hollow series by Kathleen Suzette. So I read the first book in this series, I think last year. It is available in Kindle Unlimited, and that is where I will be borrowing it from. They are kind of novella length books. They're not very long. And I have already borrowed a collection of the stories from Kindle Unlimited. They were in a bind up. And this is a cozy mystery series that is set in a town that celebrates Halloween all year round. And right where we are, they're just gearing up into their Halloween festivities. And so that's kind of like their tourist time where most of the tourists come to visit their town. So they're really gearing up because that's the time when the town can make its most money. So from between like September through November. And so when we first start this series, they're just starting that process and getting into the groove. And now we are past all of the commotion and things with the murder that took place in the first one. So now we're into the second one. And I'm really looking forward to getting back into this world. I did really enjoy the first book. I was debating on another holiday mystery, but I think since Halloween is closer than Christmas, which is the other holiday book I was looking at, I think I'd rather jump into Halloween first. And so that is why I have chose that one. But I will read whatever I want to fulfill that prompt. So as long as it is set during a holiday or there's a holiday that takes place in the book, I'm going to give that a go. So that's what I have on the radar for that prompt right now. And the last prompt I pulled was a Kindle First Reads. Kindle First Reads is a perk that Amazon Prime members get, and it's like one free book a month, and you get to choose from 5 or 6 different selections. And so every month I go on and I choose one. It's usually a thriller or a horror or a mystery, because those are my preferred genres. And so I don't usually read them though. Normally, after they are available for Kindle First Read, they are available on Kindle Unlimited. And since I do have a subscription, I'm not really too worried about getting to them really quickly. But I had just recently heard my friend Troy over at Troy Towel talk about this series, and it was one of the Kindle First Read selections last year. And so I decided to go ahead and put it on my list to read for May. And that one is Hide by Tracy Clark. This is the first book in the Harriet Foster series. And he made this book sound so good. I am so interested in getting to it. Plus there's a sequel out right now. And so I will be reading this one for my Kindle First Reads. I don't know how many of the Kindle First Reads that I have gotten that I've actually read. So it'll be nice to actually get to one for a change. And I did also pick up the audiobook for this one as well, because I already had the ebook copy from getting it from the Kindle First Reads. The audiobook was only $1.99. And so having that audiobook is really going to help me out in getting as much as I can read in the month of May. So that's everything that I have chosen for the prompts. Now, I mentioned a little earlier the Monochrome Manga Club. The Monochrome Manga Club is an in-real-life manga club that I host at a local Barnes & Noble, where we read 2 first-in-a-series reads, and we are doing 2 series reads. And so I mentioned that one of our selections was going to be World After the Fall, Volume 1. Our second first-in-a-series read is going to be Rainbow Days, Volume 1 by Minami Mizuno. This one is published by Viz, rated teen, I believe. This is a kind of slice of life, maybe a little bit romantic story that follows 5 guys in their romantic endeavors. I'm not too sure. I know it follows 5 guys for sure. And I believe that in the first volume, since I don't have it with me, I believe in the first volume, 4 of the 5 guys have girlfriends, but one of the guys does not. And it's about Christmas time, and he thinks he's going to be alone. But I don't think he ends up being alone. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It has been a series that has been on my watch list for a very long time. So much so that I almost picked it up raw, untranslated, just so that I can get a gist of what the series was about, because it looked really cute and the animation style is very much down my alley. And so I did watch one of the anime episodes, and the anime episodes are only about 5 minutes long. And I thought it was super cute, and I never thought that we would get it translated, and Viz has translated it, so I am collecting it actively. And I am really, really looking forward to reading this and talking about it with my Manga Club members, though I know my manga club members do not like this type of book or like story. They're more into stuff like World After the Fall. But every once in a while, I like to throw something a little bit different their way, just so that they're reading more widely and we can have different types of discussions. And so, yes, that will be our second first in a series read. Now, I mentioned to you that we are doing 2 series reads. One of those series that we will be continuing is Erased by Kei Sanbei. We will be reading the 4th omnibus, which says final volume on the front, but there is a 5th volume, even though it doesn't encompass the entire story. Like the story that's being told in the first 4 omnibuses, that will conclude in this 4th omnibus. But the 5th omnibus is like a view of some of the other characters that we follow in this series, is my understanding. So we will be finishing the story with the 4th omnibus. This is a story about a 28-year-old man at the beginning of this series, and we kind of follow him. He is trying to become a mangaka, and he already has like 1 work out in the world, but he's trying to get his second one completed and out there. But in the meantime, he is delivering pizzas because, you know, you got to make a buck. So we kind of follow him in his day-to-day life, delivering pizzas and things, and then we're led into the fact that he has experiences where he revives time. And what this means is that if there is something around him that can be corrected or fixed, say a vehicle accident that can be avoided, or a pedestrian crossing where someone maybe gets hit by a vehicle, something like that, time will revive for him, maybe 5 or 10 minutes in the past, so that he is able to correct these situations and prevent them from happening. And it's not really clear how, why, or when he got this ability, but he, at this point in the beginning of the series, knows that when things like this happen to him, he has the chance to fix it, and so he does. He doesn't really have control of this ability, it just kind of happens until one day where something happens to someone close to him where he needs time to revive, and he wills it to revive for him, and it ends up taking him back to a time where he's 11 years old, a time when one of his classmates was kidnapped and murdered, and he is trying to find his way back to the present by correcting things that have happened in the past. I have been really enjoying this series. In the 3rd omnibus, we find out who the actual killer is, so there's no more guessing or anything like that. I was wrong with my initial suspicion, but in the 3rd omnibus, it was very obvious who the killer was, and so everything made perfect sense the way it was laid out and things like that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this story is going to end and how everything kind of works out. And so we will be reading the 4th omnibus in May. And then we will also be finishing Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba with volumes 21, 22, and 23. These are by Koyoharu Gotoge, published by Viz Rated Teen. Did I not mention Erased was published by Yen Press Rated Teen? Anyway, Demon Slayer has been a really, really enjoyable ride, and I'm looking forward to completing this series with my Monochrome Manga Club members and discussing with them the events that take place. My daughter and I are also up to date with the anime at this point, and we are really, really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to continuing the rest of these volumes and finishing the series, and then that means in June we will be starting a new series read. So yeah, super exciting stuff coming up in May. And then, like I said, there are also a few other things that I'd like to read in regards to middle grade May and the Asian Readathon and things like that. And one of those things is Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. So this is a Twisted Tale, Disney Twisted Tales retelling of Mulan. And so I was gifted this, I believe at Christmas time, by my friend Amy over at A-Star Reads. I would really like to get to that one in May. And then I have Amy's Eyes by Richard Kennedy, and this is a middle grade book about a girl who grew up with a doll that she favors, and one day the doll becomes a boy and she turns into a doll and goes on adventures with him. And so I'm really looking forward to that one. I was sent a free copy of that book by the publisher, Precious Bodle, from the publisher, and so I'm really looking forward to getting to that one. And then I'd also like to read Shadow Fever, which is the 5th book in the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning, to continue my Fever read along with my friend Janaea over at Live a Thousand Lives. As of the date of filming this, I have not finished or even started Dream Fever, but I'm hoping to do that. I'm just caught up in what I'm reading right now, and I just really want to live in that world at this moment. So I have not yet read Dream Fever, but I will. I definitely will. So other than that, I'm going to freestyle my way through May and just pick up what I want, as long as it's either a manga or a manhwa, something that will fit with the Asian Readathon, or something that will be like middle grade, so that I can give a nod to middle grade May, which, by the way, is being hosted by a bunch of my friends. I will link announcement videos down in the description box below in case you're interested in participating as well. Again, though, I am not participating as far as prompts go. I'm just going to be reading middle grade books as I get through the month. So yeah, those are my plans for May. I think it is a lot more full than I would like, but it's not too bad. So I think I should be able to get through everything I have plans for. At least I hope so. And I'm really looking forward to it. So let me know down in the comments below if you're participating in any readathons in the month of May, which readathons you're participating in, how are you doing on your Aurelia Magical Readathon prompts. Did you finish all your classes, or do you need an extension like I do? I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a flower emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.